a bird on it. The font choice is a little more country western than I had originally anticipated, unfortunately. It's also a little bit too wide. Haven't made a shirt like this in quite some time. Also, check out my power outlets. They finally made the cut. I hope that you're enjoying my power outlets. When I originally made this video a long time ago, it was more of a satire, more of a parody piece. I just thought it was interesting to show a different perspective of when and why I shoot JPEG. So I'm gonna start by saying that this is like the disclaimer that I'm always shooting RAW in a professional setting. There are very, very few exceptions, maybe I'm gonna say 99.999% of the time, so there's like a 1% outlier every 10 years that I'll only shoot JPEG. Other than that, I always have RAW enabled, but I don't really touch those RAW files for the most part if I'm shooting something in totally controlled lighting conditions. The main examples of that is anytime that I photograph a family session, I'm always in complete control of where and when I place people. That means time of day, that we're not gonna shoot at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. We're gonna shoot either in the early morning if they have kids, or we're gonna shoot towards sunset if they're all adults. Also engagement sessions, if everything is just coming up Millhouse and the lighting is beautiful and there's no unknowns, no bad lighting situations, nothing that has way too much dynamic range in it, that is when I'm shooting JPEG. On a wedding day, because there is just so many variables constantly happening and you have to work within the conditions that you're given, I am always shooting RAW and always processing from RAW in those situations. To go one deeper, as DJ Hansel would say, I think it's always incredibly important to strive to get your photos as correct in camera as possible. And this has never been more apparent than when I started shooting video at weddings and shooting video in commercial settings. I rarely, if ever, shoot something like S-Log or a different kind of raw video profile, because I always know what end look I'm going for, and that saves me a lot of time. Here are some examples of completely unprocessed, just straight out of camera video files that I shot at a wedding in Dominican Republic a little while. I think that they look pretty great. I could probably pull a still from any of those frames and put it up on Instagram, and it would be pretty much ready to go, maybe a few small adjustments. What does this mean for you as a photographer? Maybe take it as a bit of a challenge to shoot the exact correct white balance in your camera that you want to deliver, to shoot the exact settings, full manual, everything, and just go through a shoot and not need to change exposures or anything for any of the photos. And again, not really possible on a wedding day, but in an engagement session scenario or a family or a couple shoot or a food shoot or whatever, you know that you have complete control over the shoot. So there's no reason that you can't really just get 100% correct in camera. When I come home, I load all my RAWs and JPEGs into my computer as backup, but I only edit from the JPEGs and I just quickly batch process everything because I know that it is 100% ready to go. So what you're doing is you're saving a half hour basically on every shoot from loading your photos into your computer, processing them to look exactly like the JPEG. So if you are just processing your photos, the raw photos to make them look like the JPEGs you already have, just skip that step, shoot a higher quality JPEG and deliver that. This is also really, really helpful when I'm traveling. As you probably do as well, I take a lot of photos when I'm traveling and I really want kind of the instant nature of it, that like this is the thing we did today. And if I can just grab the JPEG off of whether Lindsay's shooting like a Fuji or we're shooting like a D850 or a Sony A7 III, you can just pull the JPEG off of that and instantly have it and edit it in Instagram or Snapseed or Visco or whatever app you use on your phone, and maybe you get it 98% of the way to where you would have on a computer, but it is a lot more instant and a little bit more internally rewarding, I think, to post something as it's happening. So I'm gonna do the math on this. Last year I did 100 photo sessions, and if I'm saving an average of 25 to 30 minutes on processing and just going straight to JPEG, I'm saving myself 3,000 minutes, which is 50 hours of my time. So I've saved myself over a full-time week of working with no quality loss to the clients, just straight efficiency for me. So if you're a newer photographer, or even if you've been doing this for a long time, either take this as a challenge to shoot it in camera 100% perfectly every time. That really ups your skills. And at some point you just stop actually thinking about like that you're pushing yourself to get it perfect in camera, and that's just what you start doing, and it becomes kind of a background process, which is when your photography time really starts to accelerate, as well as even wedding day, if I am shooting RAW and you're shooting everything 100% right in camera, the processing time on it comes down from like 6 or 8 hours for a full wedding down to about like an hour and 20 minutes, which is what I do. I usually spend about a half hour culling and then about an hour 20 on the final edit of the images. And if you're shooting everything correct in camera, that is a possibility. So thank you for watching today. I hope that you've learned at least a little something, and don't be convinced by everybody out there telling you to shoot RAW. Shooting JPEG in certain circumstances will save you a lot of time, get you images faster, be more efficient. And in a lot of cases, I actually like the way that the JPEGs kind of render out of my camera on my D850 rather than actually the raw files. So you're getting better quality images as well, so there's no reason to not do it in controlled circumstances. Thank you to everyone that's joined the Patreon this week, this Monday. Tomorrow I'm actually releasing a video on my #1 life hack to getting into wedding photography and how to really rapidly accelerate your growth. So that's gonna be a video that's coming out tomorrow. Excited to share all that information with you guys. So thank you for watching. These shirts they're not for sale, unfortunately, because I've only made one, but maybe comment below if you want this shirt. I'll literally package this exact shirt up. I'll leave the bird on it and I'll send it to you. Don't post your address or anything in the comments. I will message you and ask you for that personally. But I just wanted to be somebody who vows to start getting everything right in camera, and if you're not already delivering JPEGs, to go out and knock a shoot out of the park so bad that you can just deliver only the JPEGs on it. So that's all for today. So see you tomorrow, Patreon, YouTube. Thank you for watching.